Hi, everybody. So, Kelly and I are here together and we're going to talk about the strawberry moon. So, I'm really excited about this because the energy is shifting a lot and it's gotten a little bit softer already for our bodies, but the outside world is starting to kind of implode on itself. So, that's actually really good. And I'm interested in seeing what happens next. So, tell us about the energies that are coming, Kelly. I hope you're doing good with this.
I'm
Yeah.
doing good, and I'm excited about this full moon as well. We had the new moon, and this will be the blossoming, and it has a new feature to it, which is we have so many planetary changes going on this year, but June is a blossoming. And you were telling me it's a strawberry moon, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, because it's the time in the Northeast anyway, where we're going to be getting strawberries.
Yes.
And perfect. So you were having a planetary shift. We're having so many planetary shifts. I mean, we're almost like I would say all, if we're counting Pluto that went into Aquarius in November, all of the other planets are changing sign this year. Some do that all the time. Mercury, Venus, Mars change a lot. But this is all of the rest of the planets are changing sign.
Wow.
Jupiter, Saturn changed sign last time we talked. Now we're going to have Jupiter change sign, and we are having Uranus change sign next month, and Neptune already changed sign. So this is like basically all the basic planets we use in astrology. So this is pretty wild of a time, and
Yeah.
things are unraveling, and I love it. I think it's the end of Jupiter being in Gemini, like the stitches are all like unraveling.
hmm
So we have to knit something new, and let's start looking at the chart images here.
Okay.
So here is the full moon, and this is the month of Gemini. There's the sun in Gemini. So we're having the full moon in Sagittarius. So this is all the oppositions, all the polarities are evident on the full moon. So we have the Gemini. Variety is the spice of life, all the pieces to the puzzle. Some of them are unraveling, as we just said. And the full moon in Sagittarius is kind of helping us get a clearer sense of what direction we're heading in, our vision going forward, and we're of all of the information that's around. Sagittarius has a good intuition on what's true and what's not true. That's not always easy to figure out, depending on your belief systems, depending on, kind of how you're seeing things. And there's been a lot of opportunity for different viewpoints
Yeah.
with the Gemini energy, and that continues to be true during the whole month of Gemini, which has about 10 more days after this full moon. So, but let's try to get our clarity about the direction we're heading in and our enthusiasm behind it. You Sagittarius likes to be on the move, likes to travel. So, this season could be a really good travel season.
hmm
Anyway, that is the basic moon sun dynamic going on. And I love this combination. I'm a Sagittarian myself, and I get along well with Geminis. It's like tennis. You're hitting the ball back and forth, and, it's kind of like a game, but it's definitely a lot of movement and a lot of variety. And that's why we need the vision of Sagittarius to kind of keep us on track and not get too distracted by the flowers on the path, by, some misinformation, by, a kind of let's keep looking for the strawberries.
Yes.
So let's look then at some of the other features of this full moon. Uh, the big one, the big one is this. This is Jupiter, which rules the full moon, Sagittarius, and Mercury, which rules the sun sign, Gemini. They're together moved into Cancer. So I love that Mercury is ushering Jupiter into the sign of Cancer. It's new sign for a whole year. Jupiter spends a year in a sign, and it's about where our opportunities are, where our growth is. It's expanding our horizons. It comes around every 12 years. So it would have been 12 years ago, which would have been 2013, when Jupiter was last in Cancer. And Jupiter loves being in Cancer. It's called exalted there. It gives some of its best because, Cancer is about growth. And Jupiter is saying, here is an opportunity for growth, which is very timely because we are having so many planetary shifts that we need to feel like there's growth opportunities here.
Mhm.
Part of the issue is we can get a little attached to the past and we've been talking like this for a while, honey, about kind of changing up your habits, kind of trying new things because that's where the energy is right now with the new things. And essentially, Cancer is about growth. It's not about staying stuck in old patterns. It's what is going to nurture you.
Mhm.
What will help you feel like you really are blossoming and blooming, that there's more to be experiencing. And this is going to be good for us. This is blessings. This is meaningful. We're going to love it. It's kind of bringing us into a feeling of homecoming, possibly. And I like that kind of way to think about it.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of us have felt very homesick over the years, and it's because we go home every night to where we're really from, and we come back here to Earth to this learning game. And these planets, they're playing their own role. So I think it's beautiful. Like Sagittarius is pushing change. Jupiter and Mercury, they're moving into something that is going to help change. And what I see astrology is like the energy clock, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get that. So the image is the water. And we've had so much water going on. We've had a lot of Pisces energy. We're having Cancer energy now, so there's more water energy in the signs. And so we're on this sail. And I do want to honor what we just said about the homecoming in relation to even some of those that are leaving the planet at this point. And my friend that's done so many of these beautiful images for me over time that I'm still using, her name is Dana. She died recently. And
Oh.
when I looked at her death chart, it was such an indication of homecoming, that
Mhm.
she was going home. And I think that's another way that people are growing and expanding their horizons at this point.
Mhm.
And that's not the way we usually think about it.
No, but I think there are different cultures that do think about it. They have a life celebration.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think that's where we're going to go in the future because it's absolutely like a graduation day, because you finished your
Mhm. Yeah.
job here on Earth. You know.
Yes. And Jupiter's right at the solstice point, the June solstice. There's the June and the December solstices, and they are often considered, well, they're the far points north and the far points south of how the sun moves. But it's also like sometimes they are the gateways out and the gateways in. So this is a blessing. This is beneficent. This is the exaltation of Jupiter and the growth point. So it goes into Cancer on June 9th or 10th, depending where in the world you are, and it stays there till next June, all the way through next June in 2026. So we have this whole year of growth opportunity. And I just want to make a little side note that the United States chart has Jupiter in Cancer.
Want to
And,
know what else is interesting? I think there's some sort of celebration that's supposed to go through June, or at least until June of next year as well. So that's so interesting.
yes, and let's invite everybody to participate, like the
Yes.
whole world, right?
Hmm.
And it's very generous. Jupiter in Cancer is very generous. It's like sharing, it's like nurturing, and it's a sign of giving. So this is, partly where the growth is. Giving to each other, sharing, appreciating the togetherness, and with the Pluto now being in Aquarius and the whole theme of community being so important, Jupiter's going to help grow those communities. It's like growing a garden together. We can use that literally and figuratively.
Yeah, that's
So, yeah, so and we're so another thing about this image that I'm sharing, it's like we've got we're in the flow of the water, but we're about to hit a waterfall. So we're going over the edge into something new. And this Jupiter placement now in the sign of Cancer is suggesting that. And here's part of the thing. So Jupiter in Cancer, here's an image I want to share because it's the night blooming Sirius with the Sri Yantra that is a geometrical expression of the goddess. And
mhm,
Cancer is the sign of the goddess, the sign of the great goddess. And we are spending extra time with this generous goddess energy that nurtures us, the great mother energy this year. So I wanted to point that out and share this image.
mhm. It looks like a Mandela.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Um, yeah, it's a yantra is like a mantra, but it's depictable. It's a picture. So
Yep.
yes, it's like a mandala, but it's a special one.
Mhm.
And it's the interlaced triangles that if you look at this long enough, it's going to vibrate and you're going to be pulled into the middle of it. So, um,
Love it.
so here's the interaction that is the falling over the waterfall part, because this combination is interacting in a very dynamic way with one of the planetary shifts, well, two of them that we've just experienced. And this is Saturn, which is like, here's what's happening, everybody. We're all on it. We're all doing it. This is the next step. And it's in Aries, and it just went over one of the equinox points. So we're tapping into some of the power points, the seasonal shifts in
Mhm.
the zodiac. And Neptune, it was the end of March when Neptune went into Aries also. And we talked about this combination a little last time because Saturn had just moved into Aries on that last new moon. And we also have Ceres, the mother goddess, Gaia, the earth energy, also here right now. So this is suggesting that Earth herself is exploring new territory, going to new places, like, kind of crossing the threshold into whatever is over here. And to me, this image looks like an egg,
Mhm.
or maybe it's a strawberry. So it's kind of like the new thing, the new birth thing that we're moving into, and we've never been here before. We have no compass that's going to tell us what land we're going to see coming up as we sail along. We're discovering as we go. and that's the Aries energy. You know,
Mhm.
it's the new, it's the fresh, it's a fresh new start. And this Jupiter is saying this is going to be good. This is going to feel really good. Let it feel good. Don't be attached to the past. Don't cry over spilled milk. Don't be too, I think there is a little bit of nostalgia. There's that Beatles song, There Are Places I Remember
Mhm.
All My Life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some are gone and some remain. But these places lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. So there's this newness that we're
Mhm.
being absolutely invited into. And that song just touches my heart a lot because I look back and we're all looking back on our lives to some extent. There seems to be, I don't know if we want to call it a circling of the wagons, but a reconnecting with people that have meaning to us or times in our lives.
Mhm.
Like when somebody dies, you remember all of the things you've done with that person and the times of your life you've had with them and what you've shared. And that's part of the tapestry that we bring into this new, but we don't need to, if the blanket is shredding, we don't, it's not going to be very warm and cozy. So, it's like
Mhm.
creating something new that's better. And that's the better is the Jupiter.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you look back at somebody who's passed, no matter what their age is, do your best to look back at the beautiful moments and be thankful for them and carry them into the new, carry the beauty into the new and let go of the negative.
Yeah.
Um, that's really where we're at. The harder people hold on to the negative, the
Ooh.
harder this shift is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they're cherished memories, and let's keep those. And
Hmm.
if some negative comes up, just let it be water that, is going under the bridge.
Yeah.
In the one of the leading edges of our consciousness right now is about Pisces. It's about forgiving. It's about the compassion. It's about we've all done the best that we could, considering. So that's one of the leading edges. And I think I'm going to bring you there now with another one of the patterns of this full moon. And I just want to say, though, that we're going to be talking about this dynamic well into next year because this Cancer and Aries are such different signs. They
Yeah.
they both take initiative, but Cancer does it through the feelings, and it takes a while to kind of let those feelings rise to the moment. It's a very contemplative sign. It considers, it reflects, and we'll need those times of reflection.
Hmm.
Aries wants to like, okay, go for it. But Saturn's like, take your time, but you keep going. You know?
Yeah.
And later this year in the fall, Saturn and Neptune are both going back into Pisces.
Mm.
So we're going to have a kind of review and kind of go back over some things and have more time to, wash through the compassion and even the self-forgiveness, of like we can't always keep it together. We're not always on the positive, it's like we're doing the best we can and to remember that.
Hmm.
So this is going to be one of the big astrological discussions into next year because this dynamic goes on into next year.
Well, and I see all the planets as basically they're showing us what the energy is that's coming. And just like Earth, they all have a soul within them.
Yeah.
So, and that soul has a personality. So they're basically showing us, well, this is what I'm doing. And we're going to do it with this. When Jupiter joins Mercury, then they have a partnership there and they're creating something.
Hmm.
And that's what we're about to do is create more together in the communities. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really excited about this.
Yes. It's kind of like what seeds are you planting?
Mhm.
And um, so that's part of the next piece I want to show you. We're going to be looking at this dynamic quite a lot as, we move forward in time. So here's the other one. I was just talking about the leading edge of our collective consciousness, which we call the north node of the moon, where the path of the moon crosses the path of the sun going northward of the sun's path. And on the other side, it's the south node. But I love the visual of the dragon head and the dragon tail, because these are called the dragons.
Mhm.
So the dragon head is where our leading edge is. And this is what we're developing now in our collective consciousness, which is that compassion, that feeling for other people, that it's a very sensitive energy. And sometimes we can get overwhelmed with it. So
Mhm.
we need also to have that tail of the dragon supporting us, which is paying attention to your body, really feeling how the earth energy is supporting you and nurturing you and reflecting to you the natural order of things, how nature works, and listen to your body because it's your part of nature. So spending time in nature is just so supportive to the health of the body, and paying attention to health is really important for that Virgo groundedness to be able to support this journey that we're on, that sometimes feels like, kind of what's reality here. You can always come back to your body and feel your earthiness.
Mhm.
And these are interacting in the red line. The red lines are 90-degree angles that activate. So this full moon is very activated by what we call the collective line of destiny. We are at a turning point yet again. We've had a lot of turning points this year because a lot of things have been kind of activating the nodes of the moon. So this is a turning point that and we're moving forward. We're taking this full moon of Sagittarius and envisioning forward. We're taking this step across the solstice point, which we're going to be experiencing in just a few weeks. And we're going to be working with Jupiter. We're going to be enjoying, Jupiter feels the richness of life and it loves being here because when you plant something in good soil, it's going to grow, it's going to flourish. So things like blossoming and flourishing, and those are great words to kind of keep on hand for this phase that we just are moving into here.
Mhm.
And you also have one of the Kuiper Belt objects right on the North Node, right at our collective destiny right now. And we've looked at this before because it's been activated this year. And this is Teron Yawako. I had to practice pronouncing it again.
Yeah.
This, the Iroquois God, who's the creator God, who came down from the star people and created this phase, this cycle, this era of the earth. And I'm going to share some of the graphics I've shared before because if you've seen them before, it's just going to, kind of get more into your psyche. So, Teron Yahuaco is called Skyholder. And he is descended from the star people who came down through a hole in the from the world before and started picking out some of the energies that had come down from the world before and wanted to be recreated in this new world. So he was seeing the animals, he was seeing the plants, he was seeing the energies that this world needed that have been descended from the star people from the last world. And a lot of Native people say we are entering the new earth, the new world. It's a new world cycle now.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah,
So,
it's time for that. Yeah.
and we saw um, in the Aries energy of this full moon that we have Saturn, which is the form. We're inventing new forms or the energy to take for the Neptune, the collective dream, the vision. We're envisioning new forms. And then we also have Ceres there, and Ceres is about planting seeds. And here we have the creator farmer god, who planted the seeds in the earth and brought to life what is needed to nurture life, to nourish life. So he has a deep rapport with the land and with the people. And this is the land wherever you are. This is Ceres also feeling the aliveness of the land where you are and how you grow things in your environment, where the water is, um, how the sun shines, how the rain comes down. This is feeling into where you are on the earth right now.
Mhm.
And some people are feeling like they're looking for a new place. And this is like pushing off and looking for a new port of call. And some of these movements initially might be temporary, and then you see somehow lit up in your imagination or something is calling you. And this is that call to the new, this call to adventure, but it's also an invitation to a new life. And so here we are. Who do we want to be with for that? Who are we creating with? And Tyrone Yawako had a twin brother who was always on the negative side, always creating kind of negative energies and being very jealous of the creative potential of his brother. And this also is a common theme in mythology. This is the fallen angels that wanted to create and only, the creator could create. So this is some of the polarity that we're facing of our own self-judgment sometimes and how other people aren't seeing things the way you are. And we're still contending with some of this. But when we're listening to the earth energy and feeling our own grounding with the earth. This is, and that we're also honoring the traditional peoples who've known forever how to live with the earth and with nature in a harmonious way.
Mhm.
So this is part of all of that. And when the people lost their way and lost the honoring of the spiritual, and forgot the creator and thought they were doing everything like the ego can get, then Tyrone Wako sent the peacemaker, or maybe he came back as the peacemaker, which is a really strong legend among these people. This was part of the history of the peacemaker coming back to earth and bringing harmony to the different tribes and bringing them all together again. So this energy is absolutely guiding our way right now. And
Mhm.
it's about honoring um, traditional ways and peacemaking. This is the compassion. This is we're all in this together. This is how we come together when there are tragedies. And so this energy is very, very strong right now. And it's also about the laws. Um, the what did I do here? Hmm, okay. It's about it's about the law. It's about how nature works and the laws of peace. And
Mhm.
this is the foundation for our social living together. And that's what the peacemaker reminded people of how to live in clans, how to live in tribes, how to live in towns and countries and really knit the world together with this with this love because we're all human.
Hmm.
So it's about human law and natural law and being in harmony with that.
Yeah. Well, and that's what most of the shadows had done too, is they had that negative side, but in the past we needed it for learning, and now we're going to be learning in a different way. So the whole universe is letting go of the extreme polarity that we were participating
Yes.
in. And, I'm sure that the shadow has been healed, and I'm not going to try and pronounce the name, but it's beautiful because we are
Yes.
going to do amazing things with the earth. And I'm really excited. And it will be in community. They will be small and they will
Yeah.
be sustained on their own and they will be beautiful. So it's going to be
Mm,
great. Earth is going to become really like a paradise as we go forward. It's just going to take a little time.
yes. Well, time. Tehran Yawako also helped the people recognize their clan connections,
Mhm.
and their tribal connections. So, we're all the smaller family unit, the larger, town unit, and the larger circles we're part of that ripple out from that core energy of belonging, which Jupiter love and Cancer will love to feel that. Like, who are the people I belong with? We talk about our star families, and we also have our Earth families.
Mhm.
And where are we in harmony? And how do we kind of share and learn from each other? Yeah, I guess
Mhm.
that's kind of it. And we're still learning. So this is how are we doing that moving forward in this new way? And Aries is this unprecedented, totally new, fresh path we're on now.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay.
Aries is so strong. So
Yeah. Am I going backwards or forwards? Who knows? It's like the tide. Uh-huh. Okay, so here we are back at the full moon with all the points we've talked about, and especially remembering this beautiful new energy that
mhm.
we're able to kind of relax into.
Yeah,
Jupiter and Gemini wasn't exactly relaxing, and that's been the whole past year. There's been so many changes and so much information, and we're still getting a lot of that. But this is kind of just settling into something that is feeling right for you, and only kind of look at all the any information that sort of resonates for you, and think about the strawberry moon and harvest the luscious fruits and leave the other stuff behind.
mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, I like the meaning of the strawberry moon: love, abundance, and spiritual growth. And I think we are really truly moving into that time right now.
yeah, these are the names of these moons. Like the strawberry moon is actually from um, the Algonquin people because, well, they're from basically the larger northeast of the North American continent, and we talk about the strawberry moon, and they name it based on what's going on in nature, and that also helps them remember what's going on at any time of year. There's the elk moon, there's all kinds of moons that are taken from nature to feel that rapport with the land.
Yeah,
And how do we nurture and how are we nurtured by the land?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing that was cool is when you had the dragon in the chart, because there was that huge solar activity that went on. And we're filming this pretty early because I'm headed to Hawaii. And so over this last weekend, there was a lot of aurora borealis type energy happening. And my
Mm.
childhood and my adulthood, I lived in Washington State up until I was about 36, 37. and we saw the aurora borealis once,
Oh,
that I know of. Myself saw it once, and it may have shown up twice during that time period, but I was there from 1 to like 37. And so in 36 years, it only got down to Washington State.
yeah, and that's on the
So,
northern border, Canadian
yeah,
border, US. Yeah,
right. So now what's happening is it's getting all the way down to the border of Georgia and Florida. So these solar activities are massive.
yeah.
And Richard sent me some cloud pictures this morning, and he said, look at what that solar activity did. It brought in all of this dragon energy. So
We
all those clouds
right
look like
are
big,
activated.
yeah,
Absolutely. And we're moving in, it's going to be a couple of months before we're in another eclipse season in September. And so that's, also when we get the next equinox. And that's, so the seasonal rhythm, how nature is illustrating to us that we're moving into something new. And it's just glorious. I'm gonna stay. Let's see, where's that picture? I wanted to just stay with this one for a bit to
okay.
just get in to the blossoming and the goddess energy is very strong and she is nature.
Yes, she's potent, and she's also, that's the earth energy right now. Like, she's not putting up with anything. She's clearing things that we don't need anymore away. And that's why the
Yes.
weather is not really what we would expect. It's starting to
Hmm.
shift, and she's also clearing energy.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a kind of a cool chilly spell here in Vermont, and it was chilly and raining, but it's so profusely green. I couldn't complain about it. It was like green rain. It was just a different world.
Yeah.
Chilly though it was. Not quite what like in spring, but now we're moving back into the sun. But whatever nature brings, let's appreciate that. She's very intelligent. She knows what she's doing. She knows what we need. It might not be what we feel like we need, but that's part of the Cancer energy too. What do we really need for our growth, for our nurturing, and let nature, though stormy though she can be, do her cleansing and her awakening in this new energy, and let's ride with her.
Absolutely. So good right now. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for this time period. And I feel like we've come through a major amount of stuff over the last 6 months. And we just kind of finished the hardest part for the body and the hardest part for us as individuals. Now,
Hmm.
that doesn't mean everybody's done. It means the hardest part is over, but we're going to have a softer time, us who have been doing work and going through a lot. And the outside world is now going to start to show the fruits of
Hmm.
willingness that we have made inside of ourselves to change.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cancer is a very self-nurturing sign.
Hmm. Yeah. It's beautiful.
And
So,
it's like taking care of yourself, and it's a very gentle sign.
mhm.
So, we've had some, rough passages, but maybe it can be a bit more gentle. I mean, depending,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I think it's
Depending
going to
on.
be more gentle for us as individuals
Mm,
and more crazy looking on the outside for a little while. But it's things that we've been waiting for. So we're not so like wound up or stressed out about it. It's more of a celebration of,
yeah,
oh, it's happening.
yes.
Yay, and taking care of ourselves through that process.
Yeah, the more resistant to change you are, which we have to watch with cancer, you
Mhm.
know, the harder a time it will be. And some people don't want the change. Some people, don't see the possibilities of what we can be moving into and whatever attachments, and that's when it's going to be hard to stay and make that
Right,
seemingly leap of faith, but we can do it we don't always have to be going through kind of those white rapids. We can, kind of just like, lean back into a lily pad, now and again and feel like we are the lily on the water lily,
oh
just
yeah.
resting in that calm moment and find those calm moments and what gives you that sense of calm and what word do I want to use? Not necessarily confident. I don't, not necessarily faith, but uh, just this kind of resting, just this, like if you can feel like you can lean back and there's something supporting you. And that kind of goes to the necessity for some spiritual faith or belief that really can support us through these times.
Hmm. Well, and I think just the fact of what is happening in the outside that we've been waiting for, and now we're not waiting anymore. We're watching and we're having fun because we know what it means. So for those people, it's a beautiful blossoming. For people who are hanging on, that's who's chosen not to be here in their body mostly.
Yeah.
So they're still ascending. It's just been too much for the body and the mind.
Yes.
So, it's not a sad thing. It's they've graduated. They got further than, I mean, any human being has gotten in a
Yeah.
millennia, in
Oh,
so many thousands of
mhm.
years.
That's a great way to look at it. And
Yeah.
they're going home.
And they're
So,
home now. Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. So they're
Yeah.
out of school. They get to go play and, just allow that and know that they're happy. And if you feel like they got a little stuck, then ask their angels to come in and escort them on home. And it's a beautiful thing right now, you guys. And you see them at night.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm,
And soon you'll know that you're seeing them. So
mm.
that's going to change everything. And I think for me, being able to see dad after he passed was such a gift. And being able to share it with you guys was such a gift because
Mm.
it really showed that we're not, separate at all. So it's a beautiful thing right now. Everything is really becoming more amazing and more fun. So
It's
lean
all
into
the gifts
the
are
change.
coming in too. You've been talking about gifts, and this is a lot of a gifting time with
Yeah.
Jupiter in Cancer, a lot of blessings, a lot of gifts, a lot of um, a bounty.
Yeah. Bounty, abundance, love, just, and the love starts within you, all of that stuff. It's such a gorgeous time to be alive. And
Mhm.
I've been feeling that way for several days now. And it's like we've come through the very hardest part. So I'm so grateful that we got through it. And now
Yeah.
it's just we're gonna watch the fall of the 3D because 3D is not supported in the 5D. So we're gonna watch that fall apart and we're gonna build something that is so outside of our own box that just being willing to like take in the magical adventure of what's coming, it's
Mhm.
amazing. Yeah. So
Yep, yep. Throw in what you've got to give, kind of put your ideas out there. It's not a time to sit back, but it's a time to like contribute. When you feel like you've got something to contribute and the ideas are coming to you and your gifts are, you're ready to give in a new way and be more of who we are, right? We are expanding, and this is blessings. This is blossoming.
It's so
Yeah.
good. So thank you so much, Kelly. I'm gonna have
Oh,
your stuff below so that
okay.
everybody can find you. If you're doing anything new, send me, you know, whatever it is. Um,
Uh-huh. I do announce such things on my Substack newsletter as well, and I am giving a couple of in-person things in the next several months. Um, and also, I'm going to have an invitation about different ways to work with me. So,
oh, I love that. Love it. It's a beautiful time. Thank you so much,
thank
Kelly. This was a
you.
great show.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Bye, everybody.
Enjoy.